Hello, it's Prince Easy. And as usual, let's get to it. Well, narrative control. We're gonna begin there. We shall make fire come down from heaven. Yeah, I think I've touched about this once, I guess. That all of these wonders and signs and miracles that will be worked by the beast would be a product of science, just not literally real power per se. Okay, so all of these fires and blue houses we see, that's what the fire is in the sight of men. Okay, that's why Apollo created Space Force, they say. So be careful now. Well, the blue and red dynamics continues. Yeah, politics. Yeah, we see the red, the blue, gangs, the biggest, red and blue. The drinks even, Pepsi, Coca, right? It goes on into arts and into sports, and I think I've demonstrated that. It's just a sim. These are just simulations. Think of it as this big computer, right? And these celebrities live their tiny box lives simulating for an outcome they do not know yet, right? So in order to be on the safe side, then they rather morph themselves and basically blur the difference between the seed of the serpent and the seed of man. And that has always been the plan. That has always been the plan, to mix the two as, I don't know, as a gesture to show that at the end of the day, that people did not choose God, they chose us. That's what it says, and that's not good. That's not good, because that will trigger a reset. Okay, that will trigger the reset. People will not perish. God will not have that happen, that people entirely be transformed into vessels of darkness. Then we're in trouble. But since we are people of faith and believe that nothing happens for no reason, then we have to hold steadfast to that, right? Whatever happens. Okay, let's move on to the evolution of warfare, right? Today's gonna be mainly focused on the warfare as usual, right? As I've expressed before, that this is a war and people have to switch that mindset. Yeah, so the issue of personnel armor has also evolved, right? Now they have things guiding everywhere, your crotch, your shoulders, your thighs, your legs. Urban warfare, they call it. And the whole thing is just evolving right in front of my eyes, and it's interesting, from where I'm sitting. Like, it's quite interesting, it's quite interesting to see how armies have evolved Hmm? And really, I think I made a writing error on that election packages. No, I meant um, jamming. Yeah, jamming, social crucial, right? Application of snipers. And well, why am I focused on all of this? Because in reality, like, is like thermonuclear like the biggest threat that humanity can face? Me personally, I think no. Right? Me personally, I think no. It's not the biggest threat right now. You know, you heard it yourself. Playing with nature, playing with genetics, that's a bigger threat. That's a bigger threat. Nobody wants to get involved in a hot war, right? A hot war is costly, especially these times. And remember, these people want to, quote unquote, preserve their kingdoms, so they say, so they claim. So, bioweapons, that's the biggest threat that people aren't really addressing, because there isn't really any any there's just mostly speculation. There's mostly speculation of what can possibly be, on how to deploy it. Maybe if a person is fortunate enough to meet a person like me who is a target of these things, then they'll be able to like address it, the way it should be addressed. And to me, I view it as a big threat. A big threat. So you can knock yourself out with, I don't know, those new equipments, but hey, look at everything. That's your responsibility, right? You're supposed to secure the line, do your responsibility, and God will do what He does. But we have to also get involved actively in this warfare, and that's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been teaching people to actually do. To fight the right way. So that's what I think of that, right? So let's move on to the Congo-Rwanda situation, right? They had a meeting, and let's put the thing in perspective, right? We had a civil war over there where the Hutus and Tutsis were killing each other, and supposedly the people responsible for this crime ran to the forests over there in Congo, right? And the situation ended over there in Rwanda, right? And later on, these supposed two tribes, okay, these two tribes that were from originally Rwanda, but fled for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, we have to go further back to what happened before the Tutsis and Hutus, and there's a lot of tribalism going on over there, and I don't think it is gone. Okay, there's just a bigger threat to look at right now, per se, right? And it has always been so. But when that bigger threat disappears, then the conflict turns into an internal situation. Okay, their life in Congo, and then there is this emergence of these supposed rebel groups, right? These rebel groups, there are many, but lately it has been on the whole situation. They've been focusing mainly on one single particular group. I don't know for what reason, but they have been doing it, and that is the M23, which is supposedly, I made a remark, a while back, when I saw that M23 spokesperson, this skinny guy who has this stick always, the guy looks literally like the guy from Rwanda. He looks like a person from Rwanda, but as again, I call it nationalist war politics. This is how some Babylonian leaders kept power, by presenting a bigger threat than themselves, and people will always seek solutions to that, and they will always look up to them for the solution, and that's the problem. Yes, we're stuck here. Yes, we know all of these things. Yes, we have understood, you have come to know all of these great things about the lies we have been told. But how do we move out of there? How do we move on? That's what people are not talking about. Just people keep going back and back and back and back. They don't want to think about the future, because that's scary. That's scary. But if you have the right information, then it's not scary. So it's a war of information right now, especially online. Like everybody claims to have the truth, everybody claims to have the truth, and one way or the other, I personally somehow, one way or the other, reach them, but many are called, few are chosen. You know what that means? Yeah. Many are called, but few are chosen. So I do the calling. I do the callings. For those who listen will listen, and those who don't. But this is not going to end well, especially this Congo-Rwanda situation, because it is escalating day by day. Okay? And first of all, like that Hutu and Tutsi situation, that is Rwanda needs to reconcile that in a deeper sense, in a spiritual sense, and come to terms on what happened. Because every time we see Mugabe talking about these things, they always use emotions and always try to put responsibility somewhere else. No, you people, you took up arms and you killed each other. You have to come to terms with that. Okay, that issue of nobody came to your aid, that's false. That's false. Okay, some of the nations might have said bad things. Yes, that's also a fact. But that nobody came to your help, like nobody came to your aid, you know how that sounds? It sounds bad. Okay, these people cannot tell you that, but it sounds bad, and you have not even said it once, you have said it twice. It's like you're reading from the same teleprompter, right? All of these pride like this, and of course the fact that it is a thing among you two nations that the Congolese are seeming that they want to, I don't know, cleanse those two tribes of over there, and somehow that might be the thing that is between you two, and that's why you might be sending operators over there to defend these groups that you claim to be a victim of ethnic cleansing, right? And also, what is also interesting, like, why were you resistant to the SADC situation? Why were you resistant to the armies coming up in there with not defensive but rather offensive? Why are you resistant to that? That's the question I have, because that's the problem even for you, right? You said they bombed your bridge, they shelled a village, so why aren't you actively working to solve this situation? And that's why people are actually suspicious. All you have done is just try to keep yourself out of it. As things get worse and worse, you just stay out of it and just pick up arms and stay in your border and just poke arrows out of the window, hoping that nothing happens to you. And in reality, these two tribes are like denied by both groups, right? Rwanda says these tribes and these people are actually the rebels from somewhere 1994 up to now. Somehow their children are somehow rebels. And these Congolese say, we don't want these people, they are trouble. They have created this terror group over here, and they're trying to murder us. So we want them back to where they're from. They're actually immigrants here, right? Now all of those statements that were provided have some truth in it, but again, they're focused on the past, right? They're focused on the past. They're not really solutions. And every time people sit up, history just comes up and somehow is supposed to solve the current situation. It's amazing to me, It's amazing to me, And I see the similarities, even what Russia is doing, Russia is the same thing, actually, It owns, some of its citizens are somewhere away from Russia, let's just say that. And they have been suffering, okay? And these people have been actively sabotaging infrastructures, or basically compromising the means for Russia to help these people, right? It's the exact same war, and now they are involved, right? China and Russia are coming after you, Rwanda. Do you think you're gonna have the backing that you actually need? Yeah, Kenya's gonna say, okay, we are gonna come to your aid. Do you think Uganda will let them pass? Do you think Tanzania will let them pass? So who will come to your aid? Burundi? Nigga, please. I have no complaint with the Burundis, man. The niggas are not in denial about anything, right? They have been active in operations. They have been active in actually stopping these people and not trying to shift blame like a little child, and not actually actually leading, because whatever decision you make, it costs lives. I don't know if you recognize this, People want to play politics for 5 years and just run away in their little retirement home and think like everything's going to be fine. No, that's not how this thing works. Okay, those sins will follow you. They will. Everywhere. It doesn't matter if you have handed over the office and somehow it's somebody else's responsibility. What you did follows you until you come to terms with it and reconcile and actually trying to fix it. But none of you actually doing it. Tshisekedi, not. He's using the war politics game the same way. Before election, that's the same rhetoric that he was saying. We are going to defeat these people. We are going to take up arms. We're going to recruit these people. He got people all riled up and he got the votes. And now he's president, and now we have China and Russia involved. Again, the prophecy of the camps of the saint being encompassed. Right? Because that location, that supposed eastern location of Congo is the perfect place, right? Burundi is caught in the crossfire, Uganda is caught in the crossfire, Rwanda is caught in the crossfire, even Tanzania is caught in the crossfire. You know, sooner or later, some shells are going to be landing over here in Tanzania and people are going to get hurt. Where do you think are they going to go? Farther, deeper into the forests? I don't think so. And what is going to happen after China and Russia and the US and its allies over there start going at war? Now, what I'm saying is this SADC force, this is the last line. This is the last line for you. Like I said, these people doing these things in my place, in my position, this is just them. This is just what? Reason. The voice of reason. This is the voice of reason. The SADC people coming over there, that's the voice of reason. And if that mission fails, you are in so much trouble. Both of you, actually. And it wouldn't matter, really. Right? America is out here giving out strong statements. Russia is also giving strong statements that it will intervene militarily. China is over here saying like these people are our partners. Okay, they all want resources from there, and you are in the middle of that. They will annihilate you just to gain the favors and gain the sympathy from the Congolese. And it wouldn't matter who's responsible at the end of the day. This is what I'm saying. So this back and forth of who's responsible and who's not, you're just stating facts, and really nothing is moving and nothing is changing. Okay, so I'm just over here watching how this thing goes. You know, watching how this thing goes, right? And they have goals, right? They already have Kenya. They got Rwanda and Burundi over there, you fighting at each other like a bunch of crazy people, and thinking like this 1 minute of fame and these cheers are actually like things that a leader should be looking for. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you don't listen, then you will suffer. I kid you not, you will suffer. A lot. Okay? A lot. And it is also our war here in Zion. Okay? Because if they want to move around equipments, then they have to. Right? They have to move it across here or move it across the other side. And trust me, the Americans will get here first. Before the Russians and the Chinese, to make everything worse. That's just me simulating the war. So yeah, you have, if you are agents of war, then it is what it is. Maybe it has to happen for the Lord to prove himself that, you know, he's no joke. Maybe it has to happen to you. So, again, you can change the mind of God. You can change his judgment. But if you keep acting in such a manner and giving each other such responses, then both parties are then responsible and both parties will pay. Trust me, dearly. Okay, mark my words. I was shocked to hear that somehow the government procured some vehicles, Land Cruisers, and they're just left there, just waiting. Some of them are being sold for cheap, like 2 million. The 100 million worth 8 million is sold. And it's interesting, my guess is these cars are not being driven within the country. They're being moved out. They're being moved out outside the country. Now to where, I don't know. I don't know, but these people are acting like brokers and thieves and trying to. It's crazy that these things can happen. It's crazy that these things can happen, but people like relax and let go of the reins, believing that people are actually responsible for the property that they acquire. How can you even forget a car? I don't know how busy are you to forget a whole vehicle. You might forget a paper, you might forget a document, you might forget a whole file. You might forget even people, but you can't forget a car. It's impossible. Not nonetheless a bunch of cars. So this is just a scam going on. So I'll see how this thing is handled, because it happened during Magufuli, right? People acting all suspicious and just storing these cars and nobody taking ownership of them. They're just there, and nobody is allowed to even to ask questions about it. They're given this ominous response, basically a threat. As again, like I've said, these people are the voice of reason, right? These people telling you like, yo, don't do this, be responsible. Those are the people, they are reasonable. I'm not so reasonable because I know what is good is written in everybody's heart. It's there. You don't have to go looking somewhere else. It's right there within you. And the hardest thing is to train yourself not to recognize it or even to feel it, which is impossible. So, yeah. So, the net is moving closer and closer, right? Yeah. I told you they're gonna make it even harder and harder to travel, right? Despite the colors on the guys. Say up. Yeah. I saw this, they have the watermelon, the scooter, the handcuffs, the chicken. I don't know what is that. A hair dryer or what? These are the things that they associate with a black sister. I don't know, man. People need to wake up. Yeah, look at these two, right? This is the premiere of Dune 2, right? The movie Dune. Yeah. Another movie about two kingdoms, coming together against a common enemy, right? I don't know if you don't know the movie, but let me give you a simple digest, right? This guy, his family, they are part of this empire, right? And his father was given this empire, right, to rule. this planet full of sand. And somehow there was a play for power where his uncle, the uncle of this guy in the movie, sent a couple mercenaries and basically killed his father, leaving them with nothing. Yeah. So on that planet, the people that were made subject to these guys were these people. Okay, she is actually one of the daughters of the leaders of these people that live in this sand, right? So a war, because they want to completely own that planet. There's something really precious about that planet, so there's a war that is coming, right? Since they have gotten the rulers, now they are coming after the people, and now they have to like work together, and along the line they fall in love, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, right? Dune 1, they even talk about them mixing bloodlines to get their messiah, literally. Because there's a, a coven of witches that runs the entire empire in the dark. Yeah, they call themselves the Bene Jesuits, right? So they communicate with this guy, right? They are workers of the empire, right? And he is part of the empire. So this is exactly what is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, right? One kingdom is gonna pretend to be wounded so as say, yo, we have like this common enemy now, we have to like fight together, right? Hence, forgetting all the differences, all of those differences will vanish, like a famous president will say, yeah? All those differences, if there was just a threat, a big threat that would make every war and everything to just stop. Maybe they can create a whole new world order, but that's just a cryptic message. It's about what you're seeing right here in front of you, right? We talked about the colors. Should I show you the colors again? I think I should. Here they are. Yeah, here they are. They are the exact colors that they are wearing in this costume here. So the movie Dune, it's about that too, right? This, as I said, this guy was recently initiated, right? Well, what is this about, I watched a long time, I watched how everything basically escalated, right? Her talking like, I will take Trump Tower if he can't pay this and that, like she was making all of these big statements out of nowhere, She's going all over the place, just going viral, Well, I figured it out. And it's much simpler, If you look at this lady here, she looks like our president over here, Samia. She looks like Madam Samia. She does. If you lose the glasses, she does. If you lose the glasses, put on the ushungi, she does look like her. And me, I never mix up faces, ever. Names, yes. Places, yes, probably. But faces, nah. Not likely. She's like the copy of you right there. So yeah, they're coming after you. They're coming after you. So yeah. They say Be scared of the one that can kill the body and the soul. That's all I can tell you. Don't be afraid of this guy, you know. The pictures here are like perfect, right? The colors and everything. Pointing a finger. So they are playing a news here. They're playing something. So that's why this girl has been out here. And this woman rather. It's a psyop on you. Now I don't know what they're planning to do, but there's been activity, right? Especially these 4 days, they have been extremely active. Let's just say extremely active. Things popping off everywhere. All of these maandamano, all of these deaths, all of these riots. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yet it provides the perfect time for assault, because the forces are busy dealing with this, and it's a perfect time. Let's just say that, right? And this is a spiritual thing. You know, I said like be on high alert that day, because they always start over there, and then they do something, and then something happens. This, what is the response for this? I don't know. New sanctions. That's their solution. New sanctions. Look at the flags. They're quite they even have the star and everything. Put that nigga down, man. Come on. Like this is exactly what I said the other day. I said when it comes to children, emotions run like really high, and like reason seems to like vanish, and only raw emotion is left, because it is children. Not only that, because these children are the symbol of innocence that many have lost. So seeing it being lost, and them being not able to stop it, it takes a toll on people, right, in their deep spiritual situation. But again, it manifests itself in rather odd ways. But this whole thing was rather handled pretty well. It could have been worse, but it was handled relatively well. Now they're talking about this, these guys are so behind. This is actually the game from the Matrix, the Matrix game. The Matrix game, a product of the Unreal Engine 5, and it has this AI that you can apparently have conversation with. It's not that intelligent as these niggas here suggest. It's not that intelligent. Okay. Well, let's talk about this. Is this true? Right? This fiber, fibrous. Is this true? Yes, it is. What can I say about it? I have some experience with this. Well, the best tangible example, or rather, occasion I can give you, right? It forms, sometimes it comes as a flu, right? Comes as a flu, simple flu, right? But if you try to get rid of that flu in your nasal cavity, you find out that this particular type of mucus has a root, and it's actually resistance to coming out. It's actually resistant to coming out, right? And that's how it grows. So you have to think of it like an organism, right? So it grows in the body, it hooks itself somewhere, right? It hooks itself somewhere in the vessels or whatever, right? And then it grows from that point, right? It grows from that point and causes problems. Okay, so yeah, it is true, and I don't know if even unblocking situations are even like feasible. I heard that like I don't TMJ is doing it, MWMB is doing it, right? I don't know if it's TMJ, I don't know if it's accurate. Yeah. They are doing this unblocking situation, right? So take caution, I don't know, inform people, yeah, that what are the early signs that their system is being blocked, maybe strange pains, irregular heartbeats, and let people check up their hearts, let people check up their hearts and see what is happening before the thing grows into ridiculous situations. And this is just one weapon among many. So we can see the type of problem we have in our hand. And you can also understand that I do not have the time to play dumb. I have like bigger fish to deal with. Right? So can people be trusted? I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I always do. I don't care about your history or whatever. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. Because I'm a strong believer in change. That's the whole point. I'm a strong believer in change. Right? Those people who were fighting against me are now fighting with me. Those people who are fighting with me once, now they're fighting against me, perhaps. That happens. But it does not change the facts, and people have to recognize that, So, this situation here, it's a rather sad situation, but yet familiar, but again, it's this is spells, spells. Why didn't they just say a person died in Gambia and it needs to be followed up and people responsible need to be apprehended? Why did they have to say a certain type of person, an African American? They're using that as a trigger word. They're using that as a trigger word. Okay? They're using that as a trigger word now. Now everybody's up in arms going at each other. The Kenyans and the Nigerians are going after, the Kenyans and Nigerians and the Caribbeans are going after the black Americans like it's nobody's business on the internet, like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous, talking about that English speaking nation, they're going at each other like hard, and the middle of that situation is just psyop, Now I tried to follow up what this woman was into, but she was apparently a YouTube personnel, you know. She had a channel and she was basically like a witch. So she brought voodoo from Babylon to Babylon. And now this guy, this false prophet of you black Americans are in deep trouble, man. You don't even figure it out. Okay? So this guy over here, apparently he's the prince. Malaki Yok Z Yok. And apparently he has the truth about extraterrestrials, and trust me, he's not gonna tell him that they're demons, because this guy actually believes that they're actually planets. They're actually planets, and you can go to these planets and I don't know, man. It's funny. It's funny. Let's just say that it's funny. If these people are the people that ran the roots, basically made the foundation for the, I don't know, second Exodus awakening. I can even call it the second Exodus awakening. I call it the Israelite awakening, yeah, because our identity was stolen and we didn't know it, and slowly it is being returned to us. And now these people, of course, they have to make costumes and give themselves fancy titles because they ain't nobody. Okay, and of course people were looking for answers, but again, this is crazy. These are just peoples of the lodge. You know, look at the heart thing, you know. The heart thing just shows you everything. They are peoples of the lodge. They are Templars, they are knights. Right? This guy, he's a knight. You should see the explanations in this video, man. He tells you the truth and lies to you at the same time. Those false prophets. Okay? Now all of these Negro deities, first, like, I do recognize that, you know, some of them were risen to God level situations, right? Maybe some of them were people that were later on worshipped, and some of them were actually Nephilim, right? But does not change the fact that these people consider themselves God. And they demanded to be worshipped as gods, right? Just like those people over there in Egypt, right? Or in Europe, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? Even in Asia, it's the same thing. Yeah? The kings over there demanded to be worshipped as God, as the incarnation of God, and they need to be worshipped. Yeah? Specifically that, you know? And that's a that's a common theme, you know. And these people are trying to get you back to that situation by creating parallels. And that's another thing. You create parallels. If you don't even know even the history, you're using parallels. You're creating parallels using the available documented, quote unquote, documented history. And trust me, uttering the truth has been happening way before people even woke up to it. You know, so using a lie to justify or try to disprove another lie, that's, you have a problem in your hand, you know. coming back to that same scripture that says, if you pursue knowledge, and wisdom like that, at the end of the day, you just find stupidity. Like, you'll just be asking yourself, like, what is the motivation for these people? What's wrong with them? What do they lack for them to be acting like this? And you find demons and you find God, and that's it. There's nothing in between. And these two forces are moving people. They are moving people. And that's what this is about, people, and what they choose to invest their minds in, and the works of their hands in. So if they work to destroy themselves, then they will be given to Satan. But if they sincerely, deep within their heart as a collective, want the end of their suffering, and they actually pray for that, then it will be granted to them, But it has to come from inside, It wasn't a thing that just happened, Uganda and Tanzania did not just become. It's not that. They did not just become. Magufuli did it for this nation, He did it, right? He showed faith, and he led with faith when everything else failed, right? The same as over there in Uganda, it's the same thing. He put faith first. That nigga don't know me. All of these niggas don't know me. They just hear my word. They took it on faith, and their eyes were open to the truth. It's quite simple. It always begins with faith. If you try to understand what I'm saying here, my friend, I will lose you quicker than you will understand me. Right? We have been doing this for a long time, right? That war of attrition is going on, like hard, like extremely hard. And of course, Elon Musk got in the midst of this and just shushed the widow out of Twitter. This world, man, and yet he promised not to be like the former owners, yet he's actually the worst. Elon just took over Twitter for Trump, just to show him. Like, this meeting is gonna achieve anything. Are you serious? Like, this is mockery. This is a joke. Okay, all of the people sitting here know that they are not gonna get anything out of this meeting, rather than fake promises and stuff like that. But people keep going. People keep involving themselves, keep putting their minds and keep putting their efforts into a fruitless endeavor. Okay, if you want to change, don't look for change outside. Don't look for change outside. Start within. Look there. Okay, because trust me, the outside is scary, like way scary, and it will even make yourself, like, it will make you doubt. To make you doubt yourself, you'll be filled with fear even sometimes, But if you start from within, saying this is what I believe and this is what I go with, then you'll take everything as it comes by faith, not that you have the solutions to everything. I don't. Okay, I don't. I come out here, I make these videos, and it seems like I'm saying the right things every time, right? But I do not know everything, okay? I'm just a tool, okay? I'm just a tool put here on earth, right? And whatever I say, whatever I do, is to carry out that purpose, regardless of the situations that occur, right? I will let tomorrow worry about itself. That's all I can say, okay? Because today itself for the handful, people are now catching on. I talked about this a long time ago, right? Why are they doing this? People need to recognize that and ask the questions. Why are they doing this? Is this a race play thing? No, it's not a race play thing. Why are they adapting blacks as mascots? Even Europe is doing it. Yeah, especially England. Yeah? Adapting that black Indian. Yeah, basically a minority. A minority in India, keeping the class system in mind. He became PM. What? And now that the AG is black, this woman here black, the one in military black, the one who was sick with cancer. Why are they using them black folk as mascots? For their evil. This is a meme, of course. It's the war. It's the war of words going on, These people are doing real things in the real world that have real impact. And somebody to fight back these people is tweeting or giving history lessons. If you're giving history lessons, then you should have at the end of the whole situation like the way to move forward then. Okay, if God did not inspire you with that, then I suggest most people should really keep quiet, because they're actually just making everything worse. They're actually becoming the hand of the devil by just speaking and picking up their devices to talk. Okay, now they done tripled on the whole situation, right? That time it was 2 male mammals, and then it was the 2 male DNA, and now it's a cross-species situation, right? A stingray got pregnant by a freaking shark. If that does not tell you human Nephilim hybridization, I don't know what. Because these are not even supposed to. This is not supposed to happen. It's impossible. Under what circumstance does this happen, right? But these are the orchestras, yeah? They have the sun on their hand over there in the picture. The message is sent to the one they are trying to provoke. Right? So this is the 3rd time they're trying to break the quote-unquote what they regard as natural law. Now, we call it God's law, God's order. They call it natural law. It can be anything. It's ambiguous. So this Jewish guy here is warning people about general artificial intelligence whilst not stopping the creation of so-called artificial intelligence. It's interesting, yeah, it's interesting. And of course we have this thing here. It's right there in people's eyes. You have the eyes, you have the fang and everything. Now we have to ask yourself, why did they do this? And was it at the full knowledge of the people over there? If so, then what are we going to do about it? Because it seems that this shepherd is hella bent on taking people the other route. And that's not even coming from me, it's coming from everybody else, even yourself. Because it's right there. They have mixed Roman witchcraft with what Christ has taught. So what we have a saying over here in Africa. When you wash a child after they have helped themselves with a number 2, you don't cut off your arm and throw it away. You wash it. Okay? Jumping boat is not gonna help anybody. We take this thing that we know it has good in it, right? And we polish it. Yeah? We polish it and purify it to return it to what it was originally. Okay, and it was good. Okay, but these serpents have come in there, like the scripture, like God allowed it to happen. Okay, God allowed this to happen. These people are not master planners or anything like that. They are nothing. God allowed them to infiltrate the church. They didn't make the church. Okay, history does reflect that the Romans did adapt Christianity. So what was Christianity before the Romans? What was it? And it always seems to leave Africa out of that conversation entirely. And that's what I found I found really, really interesting myself, I found really interesting because they are literally carrying that same mentality of that Africa was a dark continent. There was just trees here and people living in trees. There was no science, no medicine, no nothing. Just people just lived they can't even imagine how people lived and that's the scary part. That's how lies have drenched this world. And I find it interesting, people out here coming who know nothing really. Who know nothing come out here with confidence, saying things they don't even know about, Yeah. Just to make views and get attention, If I was looking for attention, I would have abandoned this endeavor for a long time. Trust me. My views will reflect that. I'm not doing this for views. And I'm not blind to who I'm speaking to. So just keep quiet. That's my advice. Keep quiet. It's better. It's better for your own safety. For your own safety. Okay, you're not equipped to even think about the depth of this war, right? And I've not even seen the entirety of it. And I'm supposed to be the one to know a lot and everything, and in order to transmit that to you. And trust me, this world is so messy. If I were to lay down everything I know in these here videos, your heart will fail you. Your heart will fail you, just like the scripture said. You fall completely, and you become completely helpless. Okay? You become completely helpless. That's all I can tell you. You become completely helpless. So just listen. Just listen. Just listen. If you do anything outside of what I say, you find yourself just fighting yourself against me. And trust me, I speak to people in so many ways. These videos are just one of them. Trust me. I've seen it many times, and people think that, oh, that idea was just random. It just popped up in my peripheral brain or somewhere. No, it did not. It came from somewhere. But again, the war needs to be fought. And the way people are fighting now, they're actually fighting each other rather than fighting the real enemy. So when the general says something, you better listen to them. When the general says something, you better listen to them. Because if you want to fight for the king, then you have no other option than fighting next to the general. There's no other option. No matter how, whatever you think of it, there's no other option. Right? There's no other option. So you mull that over. You mull that over. And yeah, we'll see each other when we see each other. This is just, a simple talk video. I hope I didn't take so long. But the craziness is real. The craziness is very real. And don't get caught up in it. General Easy, Prince Easy, signing out. Bye.